words, the language, the style, the oratorial skills of those who preceded me kind of defeat me. But the purpose I'm here really is hopefully to talk about the commercial value of what is being spoken in this wonderful theater and this by wonderful people about the role of design in creating commercial value. If anything, our company has benefited greatly. It's a coincidence we are today 25 years old as a company. We started with watches 25 years back. Design was instilled in this company way back in '87 by the founder Xerxes Desai, and that has continued. So whether the lesson is whether the CEO is a designer or not, which I'm not, the DNA must continue. And that's hopefully what this presentation will demonstrate. Well, I think all of you know we are a watchmaker, jewelry maker, we are in the optical business, and we are in several categories. We are #1 in watches, jewelry, eyewear in this country. We are a mid-market player. We have benefited from this wonderful country, 1.2 billion people. Our population is our problem, but our people are our strength. And we have been at the confluence of the changing India. In '87, when we launched, Mr. Amitabh Kant is here. His brother used to be our vice president, sales and marketing. With one 30-second commercial, you could reach 182 million people paying 2.5 lakh rupees, because Ramayana used to be watched at 10:30 in the morning by everybody. You could drive outside Delhi towards UP very quickly because everybody would be off the road in community viewing of Ramayana. Since then, India has changed so much, and if any company has benefited, it is us. We have 100 million people wearing our watches or our jewelry. Just a few numbers. We are a $2 billion company with a $4 billion market capitalization. That's the value of our shares in the marketplace. And growing at an average of 25% annually for the last 10 years. And as I said, we are not just in India, we are in 32 countries outside too. When we started life, as I said, we knew one thing, or we realized one thing, and that came because of the background of this company. This is a Tata company, and you know that in the Tata Group, companies are provided almost absolute freedom to choose where they want to go. And in our DNA is embedded breaking the rule of an industry. And that happened because we were incubated in a company which knew nothing about manufacturing. We manufacture our watches, which knew nothing about marketing. We own India's 4 or 5 best brands, which knew nothing about retailing. We have the largest retail network. The point I'm trying to establish is, if you want to drive change in India and you want to be a leader, you cannot carry the legacy of an old system into a new business. So domain expertise, which is common language in business, is what we rejected. We were born in a company called Tata Press Limited, which knew nothing about metal cutting, which was a printing press, printing annual reports for Tata companies. It had no marketing. It was a B2B company, business-to-business company, no consumer knowledge, no retailing. So to that extent, we are thankful for our incubation. And design was born. We realized that India the differentiation that we can create or any company could create as we went into the future, because we knew that sooner or later India would be globalized. With the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi in 1984 and Rajiv Gandhi coming into power, you know those circumstances, the articulation of globalization had begun to come into Indian vocabulary. And we realized that if there was one differentiator and that could make us globally relevant, I'm not saying globally competitive, relevant, it would be design. And through the years, we started without any design studio. The designer was the CEO of the company at that time, not me, the founder, Xerxes Desai, as I said. We have moved from single product category, from single geography to multiple products like watches, jewelry, eyewear, and so on. And today, design is across our products, our communication, our retail networks. Even we have a machinery business in which we apply design. So design is an integral part of our company. And designers, whether they are engineering designers or aesthetic designers, they are all an important resource in the company. Of course, as India moved, we started with one brand called Titan, and then we went on to Tanishq, Fast Track, Zoop, Nebula. Well, all the big brands in the personal wear categories are ours. But the fundamental point I'm trying to establish is, as India changed, we were able to identify segments which emerged. And a segment you can address not just through advertising. You have to make relevant product for that segment. And relevance of product, a watch is a watch is a watch. All watches keep time. All our watches are quartz. But a Fast Track is different from a Titan, is different from a Zoop, is different from a Sonata. And it's all in the design. Well, let me start. Today, design populates practically every bit of our company, from watches to jewelry, which are our first two businesses, to eyewear, to retail, manufacturing processes, retail processes, even the service of our product. There is a design element. I'm not saying aesthetic design, process design, store design, what have you. But at the center of all this is the consumer. For us, at the center is the consumer. Who are we doing it for? Whether it's design, pricing, advertising, even manufacturing, the kind of quality that you imbue into a product has to be because of her. And I say her because 75% of our business is from women today. So how do you make a company design-oriented? This is all I want to really share in the 10 minutes that I have. We have a fairly large design studio which is core to watches and accessories. Watches and accessories is our first business. It's a division designing products across categories like watches, bags, belts, sunglasses, helmets, fragrances, etc. 45 people with more than 25 industrial designers drawn from NID and NIFT and IDC, full-fledged technical design capability. 2 senior design managers are Red Dot Award winners, one of them more recently, and I think he's here. Mahendra is here, I suppose. Dedicated teams within the studio working for different business units and a portfolio of brands and categories. Similarly, in jewelry, a separate design studio. Design center core to the MBA is a machine building and automation division. And we have now created even a technology innovation design center called InnoVeg, and so on and so forth. I think pretty much all companies, if they are design oriented, they would have a structure similar to ours. But it's really beyond structure. that design will work, because to keep it sustained, growing, and influencing the business and customers is what is important. So it is practices and culture which make a difference. Every business unit is empowered to work with the design studio or with outside expertise. So we have, in fact, used the design studio to bring in outside expertise, for example, the retail identity of our international markets with an external company. Designers are encouraged to explore other categories. Well, all of you in this room know, if you work on one category, you get pretty much bored and you're not really exploring your true potential. But in a commercial organization which is limited by its product offering, how do you still motivate designers has been a challenge. So one of the practices is to encourage them to explore, but within full visibility of the company. Continual engagement with customers, store staff, and the world of design. This is something you will be constrained when you're in a commercial organization, which is ultimately you're doing it for creating value for the organization. So constant touch with the customer base, who is at the center, with 1,000 stores, to keep in touch with the store staff, because the store staff is the one which is dealing with consumers, and they are not MBAs, they are not engineers, they are maybe 12th class pass, but they are exceptionally good in understanding consumers. They cannot articulate. They cannot tell you, this is what she likes and this is what she doesn't like. Your ability to be able to extract from that store staff what is it that consumers are seeking or what is it that they are liking or not liking is something designers have over the years learnt in our company. And of course, a new initiative, which is an initiative of design-led R&D, which is normally a marketing company, a new product is developed through the marketing department talking about the opportunity. This is one initiative in which it's design which leads. But most important is the culture of the organization. This is something which many people speak, and we are proud of the culture in our company. And very simply spoken, it is the freedom to experiment. And the organization actually actively encourages everyone to experiment, of course, following the 4 principles of observe, interpret, and analyze and ideate, but more importantly, permit failure. In fact, in the Tata Group, in the Innovation Forum, Titan is the one which has the award for what is known as Dare to Try. The culture is open, transparent, non-hierarchical, and sharing and caring. There are several processes to ensure this. Many people are critical of our culture in the sense it's not a lean, mean fighting machine. It is not a hire and fire company. We are told we are a very nurturing kind of organization. We don't care. As long as people on Monday morning want to walk in with a spring in their step, it's enough for us, and they enjoy their work, that's fine. So it's a philosophy, and we have tried to nurture that culture. I'm really at the end of my presentation, but I just want to show you the stuff that has brought this 4 billion market cap to this company, which is the exceptional design for the Indian middle class. Today, practically every design is theme-based. This is the Raga cities, which is based on the great cities of the world. You can barely read the time, but that doesn't matter. This is the watch which won the Red Dot Design Award. This is the slimmest watch in the universe, provided nobody else in the universe makes watches except on Earth. This is our high-end gold watch called Nebula. We have not gone the Rolex route or the Omega route or the Piaget route or the Cartier route. We are an Indian company, and it's all about India. It is about Indian luxury, and it's based on all Indian concept. Fast Track is our youth brand. If I showed you the advertising, you'll probably be more interested. But the watches are so different from the nebulas and the titans that you just saw. We are also into accessories, backpacks. Well, we don't let, it's the engineering guys who do the job first and then the designers. More recently, we have gone into the crafts that are so many in India, you know better than I, to try and use that and celebrate those in watches. A new concept, the Dokra handicraft watches, which we're just about to launch. In jewelry, of course, almost all jewelry sold in India is Indian. This is one of the beauties about Indian market. Watches are from the West, jewelry is Indian. Watches are a 100-year-old business, jewelry is 5,000 years old. Jewelry has not just aesthetics, jewelry has religious connotation. Gold is considered Lakshmi in this country. On Dhanteras Day, you bring gold into your house. So you have to treat gold in a very different way when you adorn women with gold. So we made the mistake in our early years by bringing Western concepts, but we didn't succeed. Today, we are the largest jeweler in the country. Well, it goes into machines too, design and retail. The point is, we are known for our brands, but it is design which has built our brand, it is quality which has built our brand. These two, it's not the advertising. That's the point I want to just establish. So store design is an important element, whether it is Tanishq or Titan, or even the latest fast track store in Bangalore. You oriented towards youth. Our latest collection for jewelry, which is Mia, for the working woman, and international. So, I close my presentation and I thank all the designers who have made this company what it is today, starting from the founder, as I said, and the Michael Foleys and the Mahinders and everybody who has come into this company. They have built the great value in this company. Thank you.
I was talking about the relationship between design and value. This is not an easy relationship and is quite controversial. The first thing that I ask to my students is, which is the value proposition of your design? Which values or value you want to transfer to your design? In my opinion, time has a fundamental role in design as a value. But which is the time of design, and which time my students try to select for their projects? As Flaubert said, the future owned us, the past held us back, and the present runs away. So, past, present, and future are the times of design. But how can we choose them? According to a very famous Italian designer, Ettore Sozzas, each object should represent its time. Of course, you can immediately recognize the beauty of Renaissance and Baroque with the Salt Cellar by Benvenuto Cellini, 1540. You can see the Baroque flavor. You can see the Renaissance last times. At the same time, you can recognize the Second World War Italian design priorities. This is one of the masterpieces of the Italian design, is the Superleggera chair by Gio Ponti, 1955. It's extremely light, but at the same time, it's also extremely familiar in terms of forms and shape. So, the peculiarity of Italian design is not revolution, but is evolution. That means to treat time, to refuse time, or to accept times in different ways. This is one of the very last works by artist William Kentridge, that is The Refusal of Time. It was a performance articulated on the relationship with time. You can accept time or you can refuse time. And this choice will be reflected in your design. So the problem is, how can we recognize the value of time in a work, in a masterpiece? Do you know what is this? This is, of course, one of the art masterpieces of the Italian Renaissance by Sandro Botticelli. Anyone can recognize an artistic skill, a wonderful approach to art. Anyone can read this masterpiece and understand this. But what about this? This is the sheet by the artist, realized in 1961 by Piero Manzoni, who is a very famous artist. So, if the Spring by Botticelli can be immediately recognized as a masterpiece, this is a masterpiece as well, but it's not immediately recognized, since if we just analyze the material is sheet. A very expensive sheet, I apologize. The last one was sold for 120,000 euros. And what about this? On one side, we have a Diego Velázquez portrait of the Pope Innocenzo X. And on the other side, we have a very famous work by Damien Hirst that is the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living. Here, you have clear artistical skills. In that case, you have a shark in formaldehyde, but the price is exactly the same. So, where is the value? The value is in paintings and in the skills of painting, or in an idea and in the concept. The value system has changed radically through times. During the past, we had just one direction. It was very clear. It was the artistical capability of the artist to represent something. In the present, we have many values, and they are spread all over without a clear relationship, the one with the others. Hopefully, in the future, these values should be connected in order to be understood. This is the situation now. The relationship between value and design is spread out between material and immaterial, exactly like an egg. You have the egg, that is the material, but you have also the perspective of something else, that is the immaterial part. Of course, I'm coming from the Italian design, and according to the Italian design, creativity is a very strong value. But what is creativity in the Italian design process? Well, it's a process of assembling ideas by recombining elements already known but assumed to be unrelated to each other. Starting from this point, my statement that the Italian design is not revolutionary but is evolutionary. Only if you can look at ordinary things with extraordinary eyes, you can give an immaterial value to your work. And of course, this is not a pipe. As of course, this is not a toilet, but as Duchamp said, is a fountain. Once again, a wonderful and very expensive fountains. There is no artistical skills here, with the exception of such a powerful concept. For the Italian design, it was exactly the same. 1957, the Castiglioni brothers realized the Sella stool for Zanotta, still one of the most beautiful and still in production works of the Italian design. Something new? Of course, but by recombining elements already known. a bike seat on a rotating base. At the same time, Bruno Munari, Falkland lamp for Danese, 1964, it was born by an idea. Bruno Munari was visiting a tides company, a tides industry, and he said, I would like to realize a lamp with tides. And the owner said, I'm sorry, Mr. Munari, we do not realize lamps, just tides. And he replied, you will. He did, and is still a bestseller of the Italian design. So, going back to jewelry, what is valuable for the jewelry market? How can you improve the jewelry market? You know, I wrote a book regarding the 20th century jewelry, and I realized that the values up to the 20th century were extremely clear. Material, material, material. Gold, platinum, silver, diamonds, and all the precious stones and gems. But the situation changed radically starting from the 60s. So, if the past in jewelry, the only material value was for material, now the concept as the creativity idea has such a strong value also. Probably in the future, context will be a value. Have you ever seen this wonderful necklace? You should. This is the pilgrim pearl, one of the biggest and rarest pearl in the world. Of course, it's a gift of nature. A wonderful necklace was worn by Queen Elizabeth I and was then mounted by Liz Taylor with Cartier later. It's really a stunning piece of jewelry where the beauty of nature is perfectly combined with the beauty of a wonderful manufacturing like for the Cartier. In my expectation, this is an icon in the history of jewelry. And what is this? It's a skull full of diamonds. 100 millions against 11 millions. The difference is not materials. The pilgrim is just one single pearl. Of course, this is full of diamonds. But the difference is that this one was realized by Damien Hirst. And there's much more than diamonds, as many ideas and concepts behind. So, my final issue is related to design. If we want to design just for materials, we have no chance to be successful because in the relationship material versus creativity, I'm sorry to say that now this is the age of creativity, not only of materials. So if gold now is 42 euro per gram, the sheet of Piero Manzoni is 4,000 euros per gram. And creativity definitely wins. Thank you so much.